Hi my lovies, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a video I actually was planning on doing for a while because I was going through my foundation collection not so long ago, getting rid of old foundation bottles, products that I had like little tiny bits left in the end, and then I actually realized that there's a lot of foundations in my collection that I'm not really that crazy about, but I've held on to them because I found different ways to get them to work. Some of them I found brilliant ways to get them to work and they work fabulously and perfect on my skin, and that's why I've held on to them. Some of them I'm still trying to work with. So this is going to be foundations that everyone else seems to love and I just don't get on with. So I hope you guys enjoy this video. I'm going to first start off with this foundation here. This is the YSL All Ours foundation. This was a hefty price tag, this foundation, and for whatever reason I cannot get this foundation to work. This is one of the foundations that I haven't yet figured out a formula, mixing a different foundation with it to get it to work. This looks great on my skin. I have tried, I'd say about 4 different colors, getting different samples. The shade that I landed on was B50. Well, that's the last shade that I tried and I was just like, I give up on this foundation because it's just never going to work. That's the shade. It's just a little bit grey or something on my skin. I don't know why it doesn't look good on me. It doesn't perform like a full coverage foundation. Casey Holmes raves about this. There's a ton of different YouTubers who rave about this. I just don't like it. I don't know why. And one foundation I haven't yet tried it with is my Maybelline. This is the Superstay. Absolutely love this foundation. I'm wearing it today. I haven't tried it with this foundation. This one is a little bit warmer, so I'm hoping that it might be able to enhance the warmth to come out of this. I just don't get the shade. The formula is not great in my skin and I just can't get on board with this foundation. So if anybody has tried this foundation and you've used it and you like it, how exactly do you use it? Do you have oily skin as well? Because obviously being an oily gal, that's an issue of mine and that's why a lot of these foundations don't work for me. The next foundation I want to talk about is the Luminous Silk foundation from Giorgio Armani. This foundation never worked for me. Not from day one did it ever work for me. But I did find a formula of how to get this to work, and it's by mixing my old trusty Maybelline Superstay foundation in with it. That gives me just a tiny bit of coverage. This is too sheer on my skin and then my oils just break it down completely, whereas if I mix it in with something a little bit more full coverage like the Superstay, it just seems to work a little bit better on my skin, and the formula of those two mixed together seems to work a lot better. I was not throwing this foundation out. It cost me nearly €45 and I was like, I am not giving up on that foundation. Unfortunately, unlike the US, you can return products if they don't work out for you. In Ireland, you just gotta hold on to it and suck it up if it didn't work for you. And I just can't be dealing with throwing out like a €42 foundation without trying it with something. So it's ridiculous that a drugstore foundation makes this better. I just don't get why this is not better than the drugstore foundation, but that just goes to show you drugstore is a winner chicken dinner for me always. So that's just a cult favorite for everybody bar me, other than when I have my Maybelline Superstay. It just seems to work better. Next up is a foundation that never has ever worked for me, and it's never gonna work for me because I've tried it with every single one of my foundations and nothing makes this look nice. This melts off my face. Sorry if I didn't say it's the Too Faced Born This Way. It melts off my face. It's supposed to be oil free, but I end up looking like an oil sick mess. It also does that weird thing where it kind of like starts to come off on my jawline, in between my brows, and then it starts to cling to areas in between my nose, or around my nose rather, and just look like a horrendous hot mess. So I don't know why it doesn't work for me. I'm never going to get it to work for me, and it's actually going into the bin. It needs to go to the bin. Like, it's done. It's seen better days. It's never going to work. I need to kind of just come to terms with it. I've tried it with a beauty blender, a sponge, mixing foundations. I've tried it with lightning drops, maybe because I thought it was a bit too dark or something. Maybe that's why it was looking a bit muddy on my skin, but that didn't work either. The undertone of this is perfect for my skin. The shade is a tiny bit dark in the winter. In the summer months, I can pull it off. I just don't understand it. I just don't get it. What is wrong with this foundation on my skin? Is it just that I'm never going to love it? Because everybody seems to love this and I just don't. The next foundation, and I'm still holding on to it for the hopes that one day I will find another foundation in my collection that will make this work. It is the Fenty Beauty foundation. I just love this because of the shade range. It has something from the really, really pale skin all the way up to the really, really deep dark skin tones. And I just don't get why this doesn't work on my skin. What is wrong? It's not that the shade doesn't match. The shade looks fine. Everything like that is grand. It's that it breaks down so badly on my skin. It looks like it's like my skin has some sort of skin condition. That's how it appears on my skin. It starts to separate and kind of like crack and fade, and it just looks awful. I don't want any skin damage to my face. I just don't. So my body tends to be a little bit deeper than my face. So I match my foundation to my body. But when this starts to kind of fade in certain areas, you'll see like whiter parts of my skin, then darker parts where the foundation is, and then it's separating around my nose and caking, and it doesn't do anything for my oils. To be honest, this is just the biggest miss that I ever have tried of any of these foundations, other than the Born This Way, because I still can't get anything to work with this. I don't like giving up on foundations, especially foundations, because I think that foundations are the most expensive thing if they don't work out for you, because usually you will swatch eyeshadows before you buy them if you're getting them in a shop, or the same with like bronzers and stuff. Like, there's very little room for error with some of those products. Concealer is a major problem that I would have with other products. I hate when a foundation doesn't work. Concealer I can deal with because you can use it somewhere else on the skin, or you can use it to cover up a blemish or something like that. You can use it for something else. Whereas if a foundation doesn't work, that's it. You just can't do anything with it. If it doesn't work for you and you've oily skin, or you're similar to me, and you're just sort of struggling so much to get this to work, let me know what you do. The second last foundation is the Huda Beauty foundation. Do we remember this foundation from last year? Holy God. This was the biggest, hottest mess. It was around October last year I tried this out, and this looked horrific on my skin. Horrific. Besides the scent, which overpowers me beyond belief. I just feel like a whole eruption of flowers is just beating me in the face. I don't know why I can't get on board with the scent of this. It's just because of my migraines. I just think, oh, scent. It's not a massive issue because it doesn't linger to some extent. I say it doesn't linger. It lingers for maybe an hour, but I don't smell it like throughout the day, if that makes any sense. But it does linger a little bit, a little bit. I found the perfect way to use this foundation, and that is by mixing, hang on. By mixing my Wet n Wild Photo Focus foundation with this. I feel that these are a perfect combo together, and I just get a gorgeous, like, full coverage effect to my skin without the overpowering scent, because it kind of dilutes it down a wee bit. And then also I feel like this lasts a bit longer on my skin and doesn't look as, we'll say, unpleasant. Unpleasant? Is that even a word? It doesn't look as nasty on my skin when I use something else with it. I don't know what it is about the formula of this and my skin. They just don't get on well together. They're just like, they're like separating. It's like oil and water. They just separate. You know, it's just not working. I can't get the emulsion working on my skin. I don't know what it is. I've figured out a way to get it to work, but it's just that it's a bummer that you buy, like, I think this was like €44, €45, that you buy that expensive a foundation. It's a cult favorite. Everybody raves about it and loves it, and then you try it and you're like, why does it not work for me? What am I doing wrong? So, you know, there it is. That's how I've gotten it to work. It's just not my favorite. Everyone loves it, and I just don't know what I'm doing wrong with it. And then the final foundation that I want to talk about, that everyone seems to love, everyone seems to get on with, is the Hello Flawless Oxygen Wow Brightening Makeup. I purchased this because Shannon XO loves it and raves about it. And what shade did I get it in? Beige. This is my first full size. I bought 2 sample sizes. Didn't really like them. Thought that the formula might have been different because it was a sample. So then I got the full size, and I still don't like it. It just, again, melts off my skin. My oils just break it down. It fades around my jawline, particularly my chin, in between my brows, around my nose, breaks down, doesn't look good, and it kind of rubs off. I don't know why so many people rave about this and love it. I think they must have drier skin, and maybe it just increases the moisture to their skin, but for me, this just does not work at all. The Hello Happy foundation, which I talk about a lot on my channel, I love from Benefit. It's their newest foundation. I love it. It has the pink lid. Absolutely adore that foundation. The Hello Flawless, no, you're not for me, honey. We don't get on. Don't know why I don't like it. I've tried it with a couple of different foundations, mixing it in, kind of like working with the formula. You know, me as a scientist there, working my formula, trying to get it onto my skin properly. it just doesn't work, so I'm giving up on that foundation. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this video and it was a little bit informative. Sometimes I actually like talking about products that don't work for me, because I know there's different people obviously watching me with different skin tones, skin types, different preferences, and sometimes when I mention things I don't like about certain foundations, it might work for them. Also, you have to bear in mind I have oily skin, so if you have drier skin, some of these foundations might work well for you. But I just thought, because so many people rave about these and I was sucked in by, you know, all the hype and the fact that these are kind of like cult foundations, and it just annoys me that they don't work for me. I did find some solutions to some foundations, not quite all of them. Some of them are just a lost cause at this stage and they just need to be discarded, and some I'm still working on. Anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. Please give it a thumbs up if you did. What would you like to see next on my channel? Let me know, because I would love to do that for you. I'm filming a bunch of videos today because I'm heading on my hollybops soon. I'm going off to Portugal and I just want to get as many videos filmed for you guys, because I realise I've been slacking lately. But that's just because I am doing up an apartment. I'm renovating and it's just impossible. But it's all good. Love you so much. Talk to you soon. Mwah. Bye guys.